Have you ever wondered how a lie can change your life? I'll tell you a true story from 3 years ago. It all started when I pretended to be a stranger's wife. I, Clara, 34, a lawyer, workaholic, with no social life. Routine, home, work, home, weekends with Netflix and lawsuits. Pathetic? Yes, but I thought I had control. What a mistake. If you've ever felt trapped in a routine, leave a heart in the comments. On that infernal Friday, instead of going straight home, I decided to walk. First time in years. I don't know why, but something pulled me out of my routine. This simple decision changed everything. It was depressing. Happy couples, friends laughing, and me invisible. I almost gave up when, bang, a guy came flying out of a bar and bumped into me. My documents flew everywhere. I thought, my perfect night just got even better. But his look, desperate, like someone fleeing from something serious. He did the unexpected. He grabbed my arm and whispered, "Pretend you're my wife and keep walking." I froze. Killer? But there was sincerity. What did I do? I said yes. Why? My life was so boring that even this seemed exciting. I linked my arm through his and asked, "What are you running from?" He explained, "Psychotic ex-girlfriend in the bar, causing scenes." I thought, at least he's not a serial killer. Before I could process it, a female voice screamed, "Lucas!" His desperation was real. The woman came like a missile, messy hair, killer eyes, her boyfriend trying to hold her back. Lucas squeezed me and whispered, "Now it's for real." I took a deep breath. Screw it. Let's see. She arrived and spat, "Lucas, who is this?" With my best fake smile, I replied, "Nice to meet you. I'm his wife." Her face, it was like a slap. Her boyfriend looked awkward, but she didn't give up. The interrogation began. "Where did you meet? When did you get married? Why have I never heard of you?" I looked at Lucas in a panic. My lawyer's brain kicked in. I created the most elaborate lie. I invented that we met in a bookstore. He dropped a law book on my head. It was love at first sight. He asked for my number with a bleeding nose. A real-time romantic movie, and it worked. Lucas got into the story. He said I was the smartest woman, that he loved me. We invented a beach ceremony, a honeymoon in Patagonia, even an argument over toothpaste. What a fake and perfect couple, right? The ex got annoyed, asked tricky questions, but the more she attacked, the more Lucas and I synchronized, like a couple defending their love. When she gave up and left, dragging her boyfriend, we stood there, arm in arm. It hit me. I had delivered the performance of my life. And the worst part? I loved every second of this madness. He invited me for coffee to thank me. I thought, I've already done the craziest part, why not? We went to a 24-hour coffee shop and talked until sunrise. I discovered he was a graphic designer, an artist, unlike my boring colleagues. He had contagious energy, laughed loudly, told stories that made me forget my seriousness. That morning, I laughed more than I had in years. Something was changing. When he dropped me off at home, he said, "Thank you for joining my madness. I haven't had this much fun in a long time." I replied, "Thank you. It was the first interesting thing that has happened to me. I don't even remember when." I thought that would be it, but 3 days later, a WhatsApp message. "Want to have dinner with me? I promise this time you don't have to pretend to be my wife." I laughed so hard I almost spit out my coffee. Obviously, I said yes. And here's the part that really changed everything. Our first real date was at a small Italian restaurant. No drama, just the two of us. And folks, it was surreal. We talked about everything: work, family, dreams, fears. He made me remember that I was more than just a lawyer. After dinner, he suggested, "Shall we dance?" I almost choked on my wine. Dance? I don't know how to dance. He roared with laughter. Neither do I. We'll be terrible together. And he dragged me to a beginner's dance class. What a beautiful and disastrous thing. I stepped on his foot 20 times. He dropped me twice. We were the worst in the room, but we laughed so much it didn't even matter. At that moment, I thought, when was the last time I had fun without worrying about anything? The dates continued. He showed me a city I thought I knew. Never before seen art fairs, shows in hidden bars, restaurants not on Google Maps. My gray life gained colors. But the moment that changed everything for good was 6 weeks later. I was in the office, immersed in contracts, when the secretary announced, "Someone at reception with flowers for you." Flowers? Nobody ever sent me flowers at work. I rushed down. There was Lucas, with a bouquet of sunflowers and a nervous smile. My colleagues caked. Along with the flowers, a card. "Dinner tonight? I have something important to tell you." My heart pounded. 1,000 scenarios. Is he going to break up with me? Did he find someone better? Did he discover I'm boring? I spent the day anxious, barely working. What an irony. I, the queen of control, a nervous wreck. At dinner, he was nervous, fiddling with his napkin, speaking quickly, avoiding eye contact. He took a deep breath and said, "That night when we met was the first time in years I truly felt alive. You saved me from myself." He continued, "I was also stuck in a miserable routine, work, home, empty relationships. But you reminded me that there's still magic in simple things, that you can be surprised by life every day." Then he asked the unexpected question, "Do you want to try something serious with me? No pretending to be my wife, no lies, just the two of us building something real?" I looked at him and thought, this man pulled me out of my gilded cage. I obviously said yes, and it was the best decision of my life. Not because he was perfect, but because together we discovered we could be better versions of ourselves. He taught me spontaneity, I taught him organization, opposites that complemented each other. We started dating seriously. He showed me that work is important, but it's not everything. I showed him that dreams need planning. My parents adored him. His friends welcomed me like family. For the first time, I had a complete life. 8 months later, he proposed to me. Where? On the same street where we met. He staged the whole thing, hired an actress to play the ex. When she asked if I was his wife, he knelt down and said, "Not yet, but I want you to be." I cried so much I smeared my makeup. He planned everything down to the smallest detail. It was the most creative and meaningful proposal. There, where everything began with a lie, our most beautiful truth was born. Today, 3 years later, we still laugh. Who would have thought that pretending to be a stranger's wife would lead me to the love of my life? Our real honeymoon was in Patagonia, just like the lie we invented. Some fictions deserve to become reality. What's the moral? Sometimes the best things in life happen when we go off script. That Friday changed my life because I decided to do something different. Walk. A simple decision, enormous consequences. Today, I work part-time. I travel more, have hobbies, real friends. I'm still a lawyer, but I'm no longer just that. My life has colors, adventures, surprises. And you, when did you say yes to something that made you nervous? I'm not telling you to accept crazy things from strangers on the street. Use common sense, but sometimes it's worth saying yes to small adventures. We never know where they might lead us. My life is living proof of that. Tell me in the comments what was the last time you stepped out of your comfort zone, or what unexpected adventure you would like to experience. This is my story, how a well-told lie taught me to live a true life. Thank you for listening.